The Morgan Report with David Morgan.
David Morgan of themorganreport.com. Week ending 29 October 2021. Doing this recording late on Saturday the 30th. I just finished writing the Morgan Report for this month. I'll start off the stock market. I'll just say it continues to defy gravity. And this is not unusual, especially as I've said so many times in the distribution phase of the market. And as reported last week, it's lost a lot of momentum. I do think that the stock market will be coming down. In fact, I'll put my neck out even further and say I think it'll happen before the end of the year. Does that mean a crash by the end of the year? No. But I think we'll see a pullback. Going on to the commodity sector, gold and silver, not a lot to report this week, kind of backing and filling. Nothing of real substance to say about it other than, it's a very unloved market. Everything else seems to be doing well. Of course, there's some consternation in the bond market, as those that follow markets carefully understand, and that is the very important market, the debt or credit markets, especially as we reported this month in the Morgan Report, how much of a shift there has taken place in the last few years, especially in the last year, where a lot of the sovereign nations have lightened their load as far as the amount of debt they've bought from the United States Treasury. In other words, there's not as much trust by their nation states of the long-term prospects for the dollar that there was in the past. The Fed owns a great deal of the debt market from the United States. So I'm on the blog here. As you can see, David Smith did a great interview with Jason Nickel on the Small Cap website, and you can catch that here on the blog, obviously. I want to talk a little bit about the report this month. Editorial was probably one of the smallest I've written. We focus on investments. We sold off one of our holdings recently. Some people are not too happy, but it was underperforming, and company wasn't giving us any information. It's a long story. I'll just say that when we have that kind of situation, we have to make decisions, and decisions are to get rid of the losers. We added a very substantial company that everyone's heard about to the portfolio. Did it on an alert a few days ago. It'll appear in the portfolio this month. And then we wrote up a silver company that's very underknown and has very high prospects. That's also in the report. And then we went into great detail with the Agnico Eagle and what it looks like now that they have absorbed Kirkland Lake, which was one of our winners. Kirkland Lake was about a 10-bagger for us, while the mining sector, especially precious metals mining sector, was just going south, not doing well. And of course, now the silver sector really isn't doing all that great. Our mid-tiers are best buys right now. There's only 4 in there with I guess 5 now with the added one we just did. And our crypto portfolio has done very, very well, but it could be a chance to take some partial profits because we're seeing the regulators start to growl more and more over what's a security and what isn't a security, what's currency, what isn't currency, and this type of thing. I will say about the Lode project, which I am biased and affiliated with because I have my own money on the line, that we know what it is, and we have make no bones about it. And that's why some of the offerings that we've done are through the SEC approval process, meaning adhering to Reg A and Reg D from the SEC. So you might say they're blessed by the regulators, which cannot be said for most of the other cryptocurrencies that are backed by precious metals. Plus, ours is an ecosystem. It's a monetary system. That's how it's designed. It's not a exchange fiat to gold and gold back to fiat type of situation, which most of them are. This is really a monetary system, and that's hard to explain, and I won't go into it for now, but if you're interested in learning more, you can go to ag.lode.one. That's ag.lode.one and watch the videos. And you can also get help on the Telegram channel. Basically ask any questions you want, and someone from the project will get back with you. So let's move on. So moving on, I'm just going to talk a little bit about this month's Morgan Report. Obviously, we've been publishing for about over 20 years, and this is a November issue. Again, it'll be coming out later today. I'm doing this on the 30th, as I just said a moment ago. Just a little bit about the World Gold Council, talking about, from 1980 to 2020, there was a 14.3 compounded annual rate of growth. That was in India. But even in the U.S., it's been 10% over the last 20 years. So again, I don't want to be an apologist too much, but a fact is a fact. So basically, gold has done its job of maintaining your wealth. Certainly hasn't done what Bitcoin has done, hasn't done what Tesla has done. I get it. But, our recommendation is maybe 20%. So if you had 80% and you had, 8% or 10% of that 80% in Tesla and you held a gold position, you really couldn't be too upset because gold has maintained your purchasing power. You've got real money that you have that basically stands the test of time. And on we go. So, and silver's done almost as well. Silver's compounded the last 20 years at about 9%. As bad as it is right now and as hard as the last 8 years have been, and now we popped up out of, the 18 level into, up to 28, and now we're sitting around 24.5. Certainly not the price I expect, and I think silver will outperform gold still, but nonetheless, from a longer term perspective, they haven't been that bad an asset to hold on the long term. So I talk about Kirkland Lake and what we've done there, and a little bit about the Silver Symposium at the Coeur d'Alene Resort, which is really kind of interesting. Some of you might have seen some of the stuff that we were able to do with the videos that were made publicly available for everybody if they were so inclined. As I said, anybody that's really a investor in the top tier Agnico, this is really an in-depth report. So obviously it's for our paid people, but you can see it's just page after page. It's very important to know if you are, an institution, fund manager, or a serious investor, what's going on with Agnico Eagle. And of course, we spell it all out for you. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has supposed to have been about the Morgan Report, and I'm just going to continue on that theme. So this came out from the BBC News. As you can see, it's about smartphones. The Royal Mint is to extract gold from old phones. We just had a plethora of TMR members, our paid subscribers, writing in about this. Of course, we addressed it with a video, and I won't give you all the details other than to say that the article reads great, but there's the story behind the story, and it's not nearly as enticing as it sounds from this BBC piece. But it talks about, recycling phones and how much precious metals are there and how this is the way to go. And yet the story is actually a bit misleading. I'm not going to go into great detail because people pay us for our research. But what I'm going to do is give you, and I've done this in the past, I called it the big reveal a few years ago, what I consider to be one of the best speculations I've seen in 40 years of doing this. And of course, I've been beaten up for that statement, and I can't take it back. I did say it, and I may live to regret it. I don't know. These speculative companies, these micro-cap companies, sometimes work out and sometimes they don't. That's why they're called speculations. Nonetheless, let me just give you the real story behind this story and let everyone that watches these weekly perspectives ponder something for free. I am invested, full disclosure, I own shares in this company I'm about to tell you about. So you can use any search engine you want, and if you go to ENVIROMETAL, Envirometal, you will find this website, and then of course you can find out more. I'm already on their mailing list. You can get on it, and you can learn about this technology. So again, I am invested in this, full disclosure, but this is the possibility to change the mining industry, believe it or not. And by providing an environmentally sustainable and financially competitive alternative to the extensive use of smelting and the use of cyanide and mercury in gold mining. And it goes beyond gold mining, but let's leave it at their word, what's printed on their website. This is something that, if you think about it, something that could replace smelting. Now, not in all cases, but in many cases it could. And this is substantial to the industry at large, but no one knows about this. The only people that really know about this company, Environmental, is people that subscribe to the Morgan Report on a membership basis. Yes, there's others that know about it, of course. I mean, the word gets out, and I'm putting it out now loud, clear to everybody that watches these weekly perspectives. And I don't know how many that is. It varies week to week. But again, I suggest that you look into it as a speculative situation. And if you're inclined to bet a little to win a lot, this could be one that you might be getting at the right time. The stock's been beaten up horribly. I haven't sold any yet. I don't plan on it. I don't think the story is over yet. So let me tell you a little bit more, that after you explore this website, you understand the core applications that we talk about here on the website, that I'm also involved with Group 11, and let me disclose that. I am on the board of directors of Group 11. Group 11, as it says here, and you can Google or search it, Bill Sheriff is pretty well known in the industry. Talked about this at the 2020 PDAC, so it's been around for a while. And you can, again, watch the video. We, as a board member of Group 11, I can speak somewhat for the company. Again, it's a private company. Have got our first series of different types of deposits and having it tested using the solution from Environmental. So we've taken, like volcanic, massive sulfides, different types of geological conditions, you might say, across the board, and trying it in many different aspects with core that we have available to us in one of the mining districts that we have access to. And we do not have the results back. So it's kind of like drilling. It's from the idea that they've done a lot of drilling, and what are the results going to be? And of course, that will be reported when we have the information from the labs. Knowing what I know from all of the pilot plants and everything that's been done for the last 4 years with Environmental, I expect to see something rather significantly good from the lab results, but we don't know until we know. I'm not going to do a lot of searches in front of you, but I thought I'd give you a little bit more. Here, this is, about a year ago, but Group 11 acquires first precious metals test projects. You can read this, came out of Dallas, Group 11 Technology, Group 11, private company committed to testing and implementing environmentally responsible, commercially viable, in-place recovery of precious metals and other metals. And again, you can read this. Won't take you too long to find it. I just did a couple searches and this popped up. So that's it. You've got a freebie if you want. A speculative situation, that's what we call it. I wouldn't bet the farm on it. It's up to you. I own it, so you know I'm biased. You know I believe in it. Obviously, if I said it was one of the best speculative situations I've seen in 40 years, I meant it. I don't know of anything else that could take place of cyanide, which is forbidden in some jurisdictions, totally forbidden, and something that could take the place of the smelting industry. And with Group 11, we're basically trying an in situ method, which you can look up. It's done in uranium primarily right now, where it's very environmentally friendly, not only because the fluid's inert, but also the fact that it's very tidy way to mine, and it could be the future mining. In fact, I think over time it will be. But unless this company gets some traction and there's some, really serious investment into this company, it may not go as far as it certainly has the potential to do, in my opinion. Just going to leave it at that. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com. I wish everybody the very best always and everywhere, and we know we're coming up on the holiday season for both U.S. with Thanksgiving and worldwide with the holidays, depending on which religious category you adhere to or don't adhere to. We are getting toward the end of the year, and festivities will be there. So that's it. I will be back with you next week with another weekly perspective. David Morgan, themorganreport.com.